So now I'm going to invite Patrick Vien to come up and address you. Patrick is the chairman and the CEO of Warner Music International, and he's going to talk to us about some of the challenges in adapting the music industry strategy to the online world. Patrick.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. By the way, eloquent and inspiring comments. And if I may take just a moment before I start, Nikesh, I know you felt prematurely congratulated last night at cocktails, but having just spent a day here in this organization and this event, which is put together with NASA-like precision, I have to say that it isn't just an interesting and insightful sense of how the state of technology, it's an exceptional experience, a truly exceptional experience, having so many remarkable people speak with such candor on the state of the whole world. So I don't think I'm presumptuous on behalf of all of us when I congratulate you and your team. Well, as it's been mentioned, it's almost the 10th anniversary of Google, a company valued at nearly $200 billion. By the way, that's double what it was worth 3 years ago and still rising. I'm not sure about you, but I'm here mainly because I'm hoping a little of that momentum might just rub off. It's also the anniversary of another great American institution, the Indiana Jones franchise. The Indiana Jones franchise, a phenomenal piece of creativity that has so far grossed more than $1 billion in box office sales alone, easily another $1 billion through DVDs, posters, and merchandise. It's not alone. Star Wars, James Bond, Harry Potter, each one would be rendered nearly worthless without the protection of intellectual property laws. We live in a world now that really runs on information. It defines our global economy. Without information to fill it, the World Wide Web would be just a bunch of useless fiber lying at the bottom of the ocean. These days, it's fashionable to say that the free-flowing river of information means certain death for the record business. Well, it may be fashionable, but it's wrong. It's no secret that the information age has not been kind to the recorded music business. Digital revenues are booming, but they have not yet offset the fall of the physical business. Today, the recorded music business is, in fact, 25% smaller by revenue than it was 10 years ago. But this is hardly the first major challenge the record business has faced. 25 years ago, when cassette tapes appeared, if you can remember, according to fearmongers of the day, the record business was never going to survive into the 1990s. Then, of course, what followed was a period of absolutely phenomenal growth. Today, there are few things clear about our industry, but I can tell you one thing for sure: it will return to growth. What we have is an amazing transformational challenge. Throughout the history of media, there has been a constant pattern. Technology shapes content, content drives technology. The LP, the cassette, the CD, the DVD, and the digital download are all evidence of this trend. Looking forward, we see a future of unknown advances. At the heart of the trend are the consumers, with an unrelenting appetite for smaller, more interesting devices that contain all the content they can imagine. So we have a choice. We can put our heads in the sands, or we can embrace the challenge and innovate. Our driving goal as a company is now to use technology and encourage technology companies to help us develop products and services that connect fans with artists and deepen the relationship between them in new and exciting ways. To this goal, piracy remains a grave threat. Every legal download is matched by 20 illegal ones. This is clearly unacceptable, and it's having a devastating effect on the entire music community. We must continue to explore innovative business models that ensure rights holders are always appropriately compensated. The digital world should be a place where freedom coexists comfortably with respect for intellectual property. We've already seen this yield fruit in a number of partnerships, most recently with a company called iMeme. Once a copyright infringer in the business built on unauthorized music assets, iMeme soon realized that the path to meaningful growth was in cooperation, not litigation. And what happened? Traffic to the site skyrocketed once they implemented their license deals with Warner Music Group and other major music companies, and began to work hand in hand with the content companies to provide consumers a more robust and compelling music offering. Compete just announced that iMeme became the #1 streaming music site in the US in March 2008. And we're seeing it over and over. Legitimate partnerships are the only way to offer the robust quality services that are most attractive to consumers. Let's be clear what's at stake. The copyright industries remain one of America's largest and fastest growing economic sectors, in totality making up more than 11% of gross domestic product in 2005. The same is true in the UK, where it was announced last year that the creative industries made up 7.3% of the British economy. There's no doubt, copyright is one of the cornerstones of commerce and culture. Without copyright, there'd probably be no Beethoven, no Picasso, no J.R.R. Tolkien, Led Zeppelin, or indeed Indiana Jones. But also no Google, no Apple, no Microsoft, MySpace, or YouTube, the list goes on. Everybody bears some responsibility to ensure the law is followed, especially those who most directly benefit from consumers' increasing demand and information and entertainment. Our stand against piracy and our insistence upon maintaining the value of our content goes hand in hand with our ability to provide the kinds of dynamic new services available in today's network society. In October, when Radiohead offered their album online at whatever price fans wanted to pay, many argued it meant the end of major music labels. In many ways, we would agree. The traditional record business as we have known it is over. In fact, Radiohead's experiment demonstrated something far more important and interesting. New business models are here, and they are more viable than ever. Look past the sensationalist headlines and look at the math, and it's easy to see that In Rainbows, the name of the album, was a very big commercial success. In the past, we had a limited number of means to engage consumers and generate revenue. For over 60 years, we've been selling physical formats in bricks and mortar outlets. Digital technology has opened up a dynamic spectrum of possibilities for discovering, creating, marketing, distributing, and selling music. The music industry is no longer defined by a handful of models, but by hundreds of them. For example, while Warner Music Group had been Radiohead's music publisher for over 15 years, we hadn't previously distributed the band's recorded music. For this latest album, we partnered with the band to create a unique digital distribution platform that made the album available via online stores. As we work to capitalize on the myriad ways that fans now consume music, here's a further taste of what we're up to, what we currently consider to be 4 key drivers in the future discovery and monetization of music, a future that will never move past its big bang without the enforcement of strong but flexible copyright laws. Let's talk first about the paper download model. This is the area that most closely mirrors the physical world, and we're beginning to see some serious traction. An estimated 1.7 billion tracks were downloaded online in 2007. That's up 53% year on year. Since it launched in 2003, the iTunes Store has sold 4 billion tracks, and it is now the largest music retailer in the United States. But Apple is no longer the only game in town, and increased competition is growing the overall online digital pie. In 2003, there were less than 50 legitimate music stores. Today, more than 500 around the world. 7 digital from the UK, Musicload from Germany, Amazon in the US, just to name 3. We've said it before. Merely digitizing a recorded music library for online distribution is not a digital strategy. We continue to develop feature-rich products that offer a more immersive experience than a CD or a single-track download. It's clear fans place a very high value on the deeper connection with our artists that additional premium content can provide. This month, for example, Madonna's Hard Candy album took the #1 spot in 37 countries around the world. And during its pre-release period, the premium digital album, which had extra content embedded in it, was priced at $13.99, outsold the standard version priced at $11.99, 8-1. Our worldwide digital revenue today stands at about 60% online and 40% mobile. But mobile probably presents the biggest commercial opportunity. Through our partnerships with telcos, Warner Music today has a fairly remarkable potential to reach 1.9 billion mobile subscribers. Jupiter Research expects spending on mobile music to nearly double in 5 years to almost $18 billion. And the iPhone, with all its truly remarkable applications, has galvanized the mobile music space. In the last year, Sony Ericsson, Nokia, and LG all announced new types of mobile music services. And network operators such as Vodafone and France Télécom began growing their focus on music as well. Again, we're working with our partners to push product innovation, which is critical. In 2005, Warner Music and Japanese telco KDDI launched the world's first mobile bundle. enabling fans to customize their phone with content such as ringtones, downloads, and wallpapers, all from a single downloadable file. KDDI recently announced that this format has been downloaded over 200 million times by its subscribers. In 2007, we successfully updated the concept with Uta packs. Uta means song in Japanese. The idea of a mobile bundle has now been replicated all over the world with artists such as James Blunt, Madonna, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Today, we produce and sell an astonishing range of digital content. Full track downloads, album bundles, video singles, master tones, wallpapers, to name really just a few. Where James Blunt fans might have once chosen between either a CD or a DVD, we're now offering a total of 283 products across mobile, online, and physical platforms in relation to his latest album. Let's talk very briefly about subscription. It's a smaller business, but with services such as Napster, Rhapsody, XM, and Sirius, it is a good one. Once again, we're looking to mobile. There are many examples of mobile subscription, but let's look at one called Music Station in the UK, South Africa, Hong Kong, and Sweden. For £1.99 a week, you can access any music, anytime, anywhere. The ability to play the songs only expires if you terminate your subscription. Used heavily by both teenagers and the 40-plus demographic, 75% of people stay with the service after a week-long trial. On average, they download about 45 tracks in the first month. Later this year, LG and Music Station plan to launch a service called Music Station Max, introducing a whole new audience to the concept by providing up to 18 months free subscription with a new phone. It's an offer that's similar to Nokia's Comes With Music service that's also rolling out this year. There's a bonus here. Our own US research has shown that more than 90% of people using existing subscription services still purchase music, and around 40% actually believe that they buy more. Next, let's cover advertising-supported music platforms. Music's ability to aggregate mainstream and niche audience will attract brands, and it's only right that music companies and artists share in the revenue that's generated. CBS paid $280 million for Last.fm last year, a huge vote of confidence for ad-supported music. Research has shown that the majority of teenagers using peer-to-peer networks are doing so purely because the music is free. There's a big opportunity for free ad-funded music. Teens are well accustomed to the world of advertising-supported platforms. They grew up with Google, MySpace, and YouTube. By working with ad-supported services, we can offer a more in-depth alternative to pirated files, i.e., a better form of free. Let me go back to iMeme for just a moment. Warner was the first major music company to sign an ad share partnership with iMeme, one of the fastest growing social networks, as I mentioned. iMeme draws 25 million visitors a month by offering content-rich experience incorporating free audio streaming and music video playlists that you can customize. Not only does iMeme enable laser targeting of specific audiences, the service also drives a high percentage of people to click buy buttons and purchase music. Another innovative example of combining feels-like free sampling opportunities with powerful purchasing possibilities is the recently announced joint venture between MySpace, Warner Music, and 2 other major music companies. The service will be known as MySpace Music. A platform with the broadest possible reach, MySpace Music will have multiple touch points to discover and purchase digital content along with physical goods, such as t-shirts and concert tickets. Finally, I just want to touch on the access model. This is the newest of the models and the least developed, but it does hold promise. The basic premise: unlimited music is added into wireless and internet packages, enabling the user to keep the files they download. It's the ISPs and telcos or hardware manufacturers that would pay the music companies for the content. Recently, as part of a launch of a new music platform from TDC, we announced a deal in Denmark. The service is called Play, and it offers more than 1 million tracks at no extra charge to TDC broadband and mobile customers. The platform represents a truly groundbreaking step in our cooperation with telcos and with ISPs. Given that broadband and mobile subscriptions are nearing saturation point, a service like Play can be a potent means of attracting and retaining customers while at the same time driving the uptake of digital music. So to conclude, because I know we're keeping it short, let me point out that our recorded music supports an entire ecosystem that would be destroyed without copyright protection. Today, we are a transforming company with an experimental agenda, and we certainly invite many of you to experiment with us. I can certainly imagine a time when the latest wireless device will make the touchscreen sophistication of the iPhone look like an anachronism, when many, many, many social networks will serve a whole host of different niche tastes, when buy buttons will be much more pervasive throughout the internet and take e-commerce to new heights, and when many digital environments offer you the chance to soundtrack your life and explore more music. If we work well together, one day, and I do believe this, we will look back and see this uncertain period as the dawn of a new age in music entertainment and a precursor to the immense opportunities that exist for content and technology companies. Thanks very much indeed.